Hey everybody, this is Dan from Cerberus LiveScan, Peterson Farms. Welcome back to Solutions for the Firearm Industry, episode number 2, eForms and account creation inside of eForms. So let's talk a little bit about what eForms is. So there are two ways that you can effectively apply for NFA items on a Form 4, which is most commonly what FFLs are going to use to get it to a customer or a client. That would be paper or digital eForm submittals. Paper still works. Per the roundtable from about 2 months ago, like 95% of the applications are now coming to the ATF via digital eForm submittals, but paper is still a viable piece. So you can go to a PDF filler, you can fill out this 15, 16 page document, print that thing out, staple on photos or amend photos to it, sign it, and then get hard card fingerprints, put that in a packet, mail it to Washington, which then they scan and send over to Martinsburg. Highly inefficient. And then somebody's got to punch that document into the eForm system or the ATF system, which we assume is eForms on the backside, and then process the application. So it just adds time in mailing, lost documents, key punch errors, etc., etc. The one good thing about paper forms is that they still allow corrections to them. So if there's an issue or an error or a clerical piece, they will send it back to you to make a revision. That's the only good thing about it. Everything else about paper forms adds a ton of time. eForms. eForms we can do two ways. We can do the eForms submittal for a Form 4, and then we can mail in hard cards. Adds about 7 to 10 days, give or take, to the process because it's got to go out to Washington, scanned in, associated with, and then linked to the application back in Martinsburg. Or we can upload an EFT, an electronic fingerprint transmittal file that Cerberus LiveScan does make. Shameless plug. And we can do that. And right now, on some individuals, we're seeing turnaround time from submittal to approval on a Form 4 measured in days. So that's awesome. But let's get into it. So say we don't have an eForms account. Fire up Google. We're going to look for eForms.atf and then should get this one and make sure it's the atf.gov website. I already have this opened up over here. So blue screen. If you click on the link, sometimes it can take a minute. Sometimes it can take more than that based on the volume that's on the ATF website. But if we do not have an account, we are going to go into register. So this will open up the basic demographics of what you're looking for. So this account email. So talking to targeting or talking to the shop owners, if you have multiple clerks, what you want to do is put in your primary email address that you use personally or that you use for your business. Then you can log back in and change that to a NFA or eForms or some other alias that then could be shared to a group with the clerks that you have working with you. But you need to make one master account and put in your business or email address that you're going to use. And we'd fill this out, okay? And then they will send you the eForm ID used to generate up here. It does not as of about 2 weeks ago. So now this eForms username will be emailed to you after you submit the eForm, this application. But fairly straightforward questions, work our way down. The one caveat that's fun is 12 characters in length. That also is an issue for your older customers because every customer also needs an eForm account for submittals. But we're talking about the shop account right now. We'll talk about the client eForm account later. But we want to make sure we get one main or master account set up for the shop so that you can see your inventory and process forms. So we work through all of this. So we'd work through this form, do the CAPTCHA piece down here and picking fire hydrants, street signs, cars, et cetera, and then we'd register on the account, and then they're going to email and send a account notification email to this account maintenance email. Once we have that, then we can log into eForms. So I'm going to cancel this, and we'd play that. We'd get the email, and we're going to log in. So blue login button up here. Click on this, accept the terms, and we put in our credentials. And sign in. And this is going to take us into the main screen. At the end of the day, once you have your account fully registered, you're going to have this user admin tab. Odds are when you first go in, initially you're not going to have this. This tab will not be there, but we need to go into my profile. From here, we're going to go to this FFL, AEC, EIN access tab. End of the day, we're going to want to be able to see inventory here. If we don't have inventory, I got to hit this FFL request, and then we're going to have to grab from our FFL first three, last five, right? And that should be something you have, right? Pull that off your FFL, and then for the first one, you want to do super user. So the shop owner, whoever's on the RP, has to be the one that puts this in as a responsible person on the license. And you want to be a super user. That's basically the admin or master user, whatever you want to call it. Once you have this approved, the ATF approves the first super user to the license. After that, delegate and submitters, these would be like your clerks or your compliance person or whatever, they would also make an account. They would put in your FFL and they would put in a delegate or a submitter. A delegate has authority to control access. The submitter can simply put in forms. So most of your clerks or compliance person is probably going to be a submitter under their own account associated with your license. Super user, ATF approves. So it's going to take 3 to 5 to who knows to get the ATF to approve it. Once the super user is associated, and one super user per FFL, once the super user is associated to the FFL, then subordinate accounts will go to the super user. So if you have a retail clerk and they ask to be a submitter against your license, that's where that user admin tab comes into play. You can approve or deny, and also most importantly, remove access to your license under that control. Two-step process. So there is the FFL access, and then there is the EIN access. Once you have FFL super user account access, again, 3 to 5 days, then I can pick my license and I can put in an EIN. And EIN, for a reminder, is your employer identification number, effectively your business's social security number that you would get from the IRS. So you need an FFL and you need an EIN in order to get access to the inventory that you already probably have on your books. Okay. This also is approved by the ATF, and there should be a super user button down here, but because my license is already associated, I can't show it to you. But there would be a super user role down here. I submit that request for access and patiently wait. This one's usually a little faster, 1 to 3 days. But all in, it's about a week of work. And then when it's all said and done, you will have this user admin piece in the up here. And then you also have the inventory piece. If I click on this inventory, I can see what exactly is on hand for my inventory. That's the auditable inventory that I'd have on hand, not necessarily available inventory. So if I make a Form 3 or a Form 4 and actually submit it, those items will get put on kind of a hold or allocated status from the ATF, and they won't show up in that Form 3, Form 4. But if I click on that View Inventory button, that's everything that is auditable or should be on my premise. Once the FFL and EIN are associated to my account, I then can do a Form 4, and I will have firearms. I can add a firearm to a Form 4 as well as a Form 3 if I'm a transfer to another dealer. So again, need an FFL, need my SOT paid. Look at episode 1 if you need to understand that process. Need that EIN number to put in here. Two-step process, profile, FFL, FFL access, put in first 3, last 5. User, the control level should be super user for the owner or the primary RP on the account. Your clerks or compliance people would put in as usually submitter, and then you can control their access, and that the super user goes to the ATF. The submitter access requests go to the super user once it's approved. Okay. Once you have the FFL associated, then I can do an EIN request and I can push that in. And once I have both of those things, takes about a week, give or take, I then will have inventory over here that I can see inventory. So hope you found the episode informative. If you got questions, please reach out. And again, I'm Dan from Peterson Farms, Cerberus Live Scan. Find more information here at our website, petersonfarmsusa.com. We have two products, primary products, Cerberus Live Scan, which will do digital fingerprinting, client management, and help some automation on the Form 4 and Form 1 submittals. And then we also have Merlin. So Merlin is our distribution warehouse search tool. Currently 11 different distributors or suppliers that you can search from with a near real-time or real-time inventory. And on 6 of those, you can actually submit orders directly from within inside Merlin, your accounts, your access, your pricing levels. And last, check us out on Spotify or share with your friends. Let everybody know that we're out there. Any questions, comments, feedback? Love to hear it. Thank you for joining us.